Namaste everyone, welcome back to Suvi English channel. In today's session, I am going to discuss a novel titled Mother of 1084 written by a very famous Bengali writer mahashwetadevi. This novel was first published in Bengali language in the year 1974 and later it was translated into English. And in this novel, Mother of 1084, we see an emotional story. We see an emotional story of a mother named Sujata who loses her son called Brati Chatterjee. Brati Chatterjee is a 20 years old boy, Sujata's son. He is killed by the police because of his involvement in Naxal movement. Before we start our discussion on this novel, let's look at the characters of this novel. The first and foremost important character, the protagonist of this novel is Sujata. Her full name is Sujata Chatterjee. So she is the mother of 1084. What is 1084? 1084 is the number given to a dead body. Whose dead body? Her son's dead body. Sujata's son's named Brati Chatterjee's dead body. So she is the mother of 1084. So she plays an important role in this novel. She is an educated woman. She was a graduate from Lorento College and she was working in a bank. So this is about Sujata, the main character, the protagonist. And we have her husband Dibyanath Chatterjee. So Dibyanath Chatterjee is the husband of Sujata Chatterjee. He is also an educated man. He was working as a chartered accountant and he was very much worried about his reputation. And the next important character in this novel is Brati. His full name is Brati Chatterjee. He is the last son, the fourth son of Sujata and Dibyanath Chatterjee. He is killed in this novel because of his involvement in Naxal movement. So this is about Brati Chatterjee. And the next character is Jyotinath Chatterjee. Jyotinath Chatterjee is Brati's elder brother. Sujata and Dibyanath's first son, Jyotinath Chatterjee. So Jyotinath Chatterjee was the elder son and his wife Bini. So his wife is Bini Chatterjee. And next we have Nipa. Nipa is the elder daughter of Sujata. And we have Tuli. Tuli is the younger daughter of Sujata. And we also have another important character named Nandini. Nandini is the lover of Brati Chatterjee, who is also co-fighter, who is also involved in Naxal movement. So Nandini is also a very important character. And there is one more important character called Somu. Somu is Brati Chatterjee's close friend. So he is also a very important character in this novel. There are other important characters. As we move on, as we start our discussion, we will meet them and we will study about those all characters. Now let's start our discussion and see what happens in this novel. The novel Mother of 1084 begins with Sujata's flashback. The mother Sujata's flashback. In her flashback, Sujata recalls her past events, two unforgettable incidents in her life. One was giving birth to Brati Chatterjee. So she gave birth to Brati Chatterjee on 17th January 22 years ago. So this incident happened 22 years ago and she is recalling it. So this was the unforgettable moment in her life, unforgettable incident in her life. And the second unforgettable incident in her life was losing her son. She lost her son on the same 17th January just 2 years ago. So she gave birth to Bharati Chatterjee 22 years ago and recently 2 years ago she lost her son. So this was the second unforgettable incident in her life. Bharati Chatterjee was 20 years old boy when he was killed by the police. She got that sad news from a police officer from Kantapakur police station. And when Sujata informed the family members about that death, the family members were not at all worried and they did not want to go to Kantapakur police station to collect the dead body of Bharati Chatterjee. In fact, they wanted to hide the news because they were worried about their reputation. And Dibyanath Chatterjee, Brati's father, Sujata's husband, Dibyanath Chatterjee refused to give his car to Sujata to go to Kantapukur police station. He did not want his car to be parked at the police station because he was very much worried about his reputation. He was working as a chartered accountant and he was maintaining some social status, so he was worried about his reputation. Sujata was also an educated woman. She graduated from a famous college, Laurentian College, and she was also working in a bank. But she was totally different from the other family members because she was mother. And the family members, except Sujata, all the family members thought that anti-social people like Brati Chatterjee should be killed. And Sujata felt so disappointed to see this kind of attitude because Brati Chatterjee, after all, was family member, but these other family members had negative opinion about Brati Chatterjee. Somehow Sujata went to the police station, Kantapukur police station, to collect Brati's dead body, and all the dead bodies at the mortuary of Kantapukur police station were in unidentifiable condition. But Sujata identified her son. He was in actually blue shirt. She was able to recognize Brati's dead body, and there were 3 bullet holes on his body. One was on throat, the other was on chest, and the other was on stomach. And his face was completely smashed by some weapons, and the bullets were aimed from close distance, very short distance. And there was one more woman in the same mortuary who had the same kind of pain, same kind of emotional loss. That was Somu's mother. She also went there to collect her son's dead body, Somu's dead body. Somu was Brati Chatterjee's friend. And along with Somu and Brati Chatterjee, 2 more boys died. Brati Chatterjee, Somu, Laltu, Partha, they all were in one team, one gang, and they were targeted by the police and they were killed. The boys were against the system, the boys were against the government. They were actually fighting against the exploitation, they were fighting against the oppression, discrimination in the society. They all had the like-mindedness. Brati, Somu, Laltu, Partha, and one more girl, Brati Chatterjee's lover, Nandini, was also part of that moment. But fortunately, she was not spotted along with these boys. Otherwise, she also would have been killed by the police. And these boys also would have not died. They would have not been killed by the police officers if their own friend Anindya had not betrayed them. Anindya was their friend, their own friend. He was also one among them, but due to his betrayal, these boys were killed. Anindya informed the police officers, and the police officers spotted their locality and they killed them. And Sujata collects the dead body, and after the cremation, Sujata's husband, Brati Chatterjee's father, Dibyanath Chatterjee, ordered that Brati Chatterjee's photo should be removed from the house. But Sujata opposed him. She wanted that photo remained on the wall of that house. So this was what she recalled in her flashback. At that too, when she saw that calendar, 17th January, this is what she recalled in her flashback. And she also recalled how she cared Brati Chatterjee and how that boy, Brati Chatterjee, showed interest in studies. And he would, when he was a child, he would recite a famous poem by Rabindranath Tagore, Young Leader. And he was also saying that one day he would make his mother feel proud. So this is what she recalled in her flashback. The date 17th January reminds her about all these past. And on the same day, one more event was scheduled. It was Tuli's engagement. Who is Tuli? Tuli was the younger daughter of Sujata and Dibyanath Chatterjee. She was very active, she was very bold, she was very much interested in starting her own business. So she gave up her studies when she was 16 years old and she did a certificate course, a course in crafts. And that's when she met her fiancé Tony Kapadia. And her engagement with Tony Kapadia was scheduled on the same date, 17th January. But Sujata was not at all interested in any celebration because she has not forgotten that sad news of losing her son. But the rest of the family members completely forgot about Bharati Chatterjee's death, and they were very normal, and all the arrangements were going on for Tuli's engagement with Tony Kapadia. And Sujata was not at all interested, and she decides to meet Somu's mother, whom she met at Kantapukur police station. So she wanted to meet her, and she visits Somu's house to get more details about the death of those boys. Somu was from a middle class family. His father was selling notebooks and pencils for living, but later he also died. And after the death of Somu and Somu's father, it was Somu's sister who was taking care of the family. She was conducting tuitions from morning to evening, and that's how she was making money. She was paying her college fees with the money that she was earning from tuitions, and she was also maintaining the family. And when Somu was alive, he was getting some scholarships, and that was how he was able to continue his education. So Sujata visits Somu's house to learn about Somu, to learn about other boys, to learn about her son, to learn about more details about her son, because though Sujata was so close to Bharati Chatterjee, she knew very little information about Bharati Chatterjee and his involvement in Naxal movement. So she wanted to know more about that, because Bharati Chatterjee was frequently visiting Somu's house. Both the mothers had the same kind of pain, the same kind of emotional loss. It was due to the fate all the boys were killed. All the boys were at Somu's house before they were killed, and Bharati Chatterjee actually was not there, but he had gone there to inform about the police visit. So he went there to warn all the boys to escape, but unfortunately, the boys could not escape, and that's how all of them were killed by the police. And it was all because of their friend Anindya's betrayal. And later, she also meets Nandini. Who is Nandini? Nandini was Bharati Chatterjee's lover. She was also part of that Naxal movement. She was also with the boys because she also had the same kind of ideologies. They were not actually doing any harm to the society. They were fighting against the exploitation. They were fighting against some oppression, discrimination. They were fighting for justice. They had their own demands, the demands to uplift the poor people. So these were the demands. But unfortunately, their dreams, their ideologies could not be fulfilled. So Sujata meets Nandini, the lover of Bharati Chatterjee, to know more details about the boys' engagement, the boys' involvement in Naxal movement. She got some information from Somu's mother, and the remaining information she wanted to collect from Nandini. And Nandini was very fortunate because she was not spotted at Somu's house. If she also was spotted at Somu's house, she also would have been killed by the police. Luckily, she was not there with those boys, and that's how she escaped. But later, she was also arrested and she was tortured by the police. Nandini always supported Bharati Chatterjee's ideologies, his actions, and she was always with him. And here we see Nandini losing her lover. She also had some dreams. She wanted to marry Bharati Chatterjee, but unfortunately it did not happen. And after meeting Nandini, Sujata goes home, and all the arrangements were going on for Tuli's engagement with Tony Kapadia. And Tony Kapadia's mother, she wanted that engagement to be held on the same date, 17th January. It was advised by her Swamiji, Tony Kapadia's mother's Swamiji. She was following a Swamiji. And according to that Swamiji, all the days are reserved for karma and dhyana. There are no holidays, there are no special holidays, all the days are reserved. So she demanded, Tony Kapadia's mother demanded that engagement should be held on the same day, and so all the arrangements were going on. But Sujata showed no interest in the celebration. She had both emotional and physical pains. The emotional pain was losing her son, and the physical pain was she had appendix, and she wanted to get it operated, get it cured after Tuli's engagement. But later, what happened? She was not at all interested in that celebration. And she had some jewelry, and she thought of dividing the jewelry among all the children, and she distributed. And later, she decides to leave home, and she goes in search of some peace. So this is about the story of a mother, Sujata, the mother of 1084. Thank you.